What is up, everybody? This is Furious Nation right here on YouTube, Hardcore Sports Network. I am Nick Fiore of Furious Nation. Adam Carl in the house here. Your favorite duo of the Forbidden podcast. It is Saturday night in my country, 8 p.m. It is July the 5th of 2025, day after 4th of July. Again, I'm Nick Fiore. This is Adam Carl with me. Hope you guys had a good 4th of July yesterday. Hopefully had a fun and safe 4th of July yesterday. And Mitch says, have a great stream, guys. Thank you, Mitch. So
everyone had a nice day.
Hope
everyone had a good holiday.
Yeah, 4th of July yesterday, the same day as Smackdown. But happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day. Hope you guys had a good time. Hope you had some nice barbecues and watched some good fireworks. And like I did last night, I did catch the show, though, Adam Carl and I, from last night's show, I will say. But at the same time, watching fireworks and shit. But again, hope you guys enjoyed your day yesterday, and hope you guys are all doing all right. And hope you guys enjoyed your festivities with 4th of July yesterday. But Adam Carl, how we doing, bro?
Fantastic. When I was approached with this offer of being on the post show, I knew I couldn't miss out. Others have other schedules. Mitch and all of the guys, they have different schedules. They couldn't be able to fill time. So I was free. I'm free, and I can make I make the most of it. And sitting here, it's a privilege once again. I'm proud to be a part of this team. Being a part of the Hardcore Sports channel, I'm very proud of being a part of it.
Well, we are very glad to have you on here, and we had the SmackDown post show from last night's SmackDown, 4th of July. This is the post show, not a live watch along, but it's a post show, and I believe for the first time ever with me a part of Hardcore Sports, the first ever SmackDown post show was part of, as far as that's concerned. But we are going to talk SmackDown last night, 4th of July. It was taped. They were live in Pittsburgh, which, by the way, Pittsburgh sucked. Pittsburgh fucking blowed. I'm sorry. They fucking were awful. And I know this is a taped show, probably exhausted, and this was a taped show because the WWE wrestlers were given off on 4th of July yesterday. But my goodness, bro, Pittsburgh sucked. And I don't know how you felt about SmackDown last night. There was some good parts, but there wasn't really much. I was kind of bored with last night's SmackDown. Go ahead.
It was the holidays, pretty much. There was some nice wrestling. There was some good action in there. There was some story progressions. Overall, it kind of felt like a kind of middle of the road show.
Like it was just
nothing bad, but nothing overly oh my god, get up, edge of your seat.
It's like, oh my god, I gotta watch this.
Like, it's not a bad thing, not every show has to be a home run, but
yeah. But I
it
just
was kind of it was just kind of there.
I could just feel lately with the WWE product, they're not bad, but they're playing it very safe right now, and they're just very safe right now. And I mean, we got next month being SummerSlam, next weekend Evolution, the same weekend as All In, and then Saturday night's main event, and then the Great American Bash. I feel like the problem with WWE currently is too many PLEs. Like, nothing can breathe, and storytelling, long-term storytelling and creative, and the product has to suffer for it, and it affects it.
It's just too much at once. Obviously, aside from All In, which is an AEW show. And even it's the same thing, also a problem with AEW in a way, because we just we had Double or Nothing, we had Summer Blockbuster, we had Fyter Fest, Grand Slam Mexico, we just had the Dynamite 300 episode.
Yeah,
it's like too much at once.
But trying to also counter program AEW. I know the All In build has not been that good, but it's still AEW's WrestleMania.
It's just sorry for interrupting, but obviously it's just even the same thing with AEW, just like I mentioned here, it's just too much at once. We had Summer Blockbuster, Fyter Fest, Grand Slam Mexico. We just had the Dynamite 300th episode. And then we have, All In Texas.
And this Wednesday's Dynamite's the go-home show for All In Texas next
weekend. It's
just
too much at once. Even that's also an AEW problem now, recently. Yeah. It's not just, a WWE problem. The same
I do see Triple H. I do see people saying, "Oh, Triple H is a bad booker. He's a shit booker. He needs to be removed. Vince should be back. He was a better booker." I ignore these fucking people. I do.
Yeah.
Whoever wants Vince back, you're a fucking brain dead idiot. You are. Like, you want bad. Like, they're not bad. They're just boring. Like, there's no sense of urgency. It feels very safe. Like, you want bad. Look at Raw in 2018, 16, 17, 19. That was like, that is the definition of bad. I mean, these are not bad shows, but they're just
too much at once.
You just don't feel much of anything, really.
They're just doing too much at once. We had WrestleMania in mid-fucking April. Why is WrestleMania in mid-fucking April? And then we had Backlash 3 weeks later.
Same thing next year, too.
Yeah. Then we have Backlash 3 weeks later. Then we had Money in the Bank, and we have Worlds Collide. We had... What did we have also? NXT Battleground?
Yep, Night of Champions.
Yeah, we had Night of Champions in Saudi. Then we're going to have Evolution.
And we're going to have Saturday night's main event. We're going to have the Great American Bash, which the Great American Bash card is...
on the same day. And then we're going to have Evolution the following day after that. It's just too much at once.
And the Great American...
you need to focus on one thing.
And that Great American Bash card doesn't look that good, and it's going up against All In. Seriously.
Honestly, what they need to do, they don't have to do too many shows at once. I think there need to be some breather. I think they need to build to a specific show. Instead of building everything, basically, you have multiple where just, you take your eyes off of. Exactly. You have multiple shows and now these shows suffer because, you're focusing on one thing and then the rest will suffer. I think they need to build to a specific show, just, that one specific pay-per-view.
Like you're building like 3 shows at once. Nothing can breathe. Nothing can focus, and it affects the fucking creative.
I mean, with NXT, at least, NXT have several events only. And we had we had Vengeance Day, we had Stand and Deliver, we had Battleground. Yeah, and we're gonna have Great American Bash.
Which, have you seen that card for the Great American Bash? It looks terrible. I'm sorry, it really fucking does. Like JC Jane and Fallon Henley against Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe. Like, what the hell is that?
I don't know if I could call it bad per se, but
it looks kind of with the women's stuff. Impressive.
It's kind of like
I'm not impressed by
it. I mean, I don't know if I would call it bad per se, but I mean, in terms of the women's side, it's not terrible, but it kind of feels like just to promote Evolution. And it's not a bad thing, obviously. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. We've raised
I did hear a rumor that
we've raised the talent. But it kind of feels like on the women's side, at least, it just feels like, let's just use this more to build to Evolution instead of, putting the focus also on NXT. Just, and maybe the reason because, they want to give the bigger spotlight Evolution, which is, I'm all for. They need to get the spotlight on these girls. It's just that, Great American Bash just, it takes a back seat. That's what it feels like, that show is taking a backseat to something bigger.
Yeah, and Evolution, does it need to happen next weekend? My honest opinion, no. I mean, it should have been a weekend all to itself, and honestly, it should not have been in between Night of Champions and SummerSlam. If we had last PLE Night of Champions and now we're on the road to SummerSlam, things would be a lot better off right now. I guarantee it. But Evolution's in the middle, and then when you have Evolution next weekend, that's 3 weeks of build going into SummerSlam. I feel like once we get closer to SummerSlam and then coming out of SummerSlam, I really do hopefully think that things should start really picking up and getting on their vertical base again and bounce back like they kind of did last year, where they around the SummerSlam last year was kind of ice cold, and then when they got closer to the show last year, they then really picked up steam. I'm hoping that's probably the case this year. Because when you come out of, especially when you get close to SummerSlam and getting out of SummerSlam, and since SummerSlam is going to be a 2-night show this year, and especially coming out of SummerSlam, things can finally breathe again, I feel. Yeah. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Because right now, nothing can breathe right now. Everything just feels thrown together, rushed, and there's not much going on. It's just thrown together. You know what I'm saying? I just feel it's all thrown together. So those are my opinions on all that. And also, though I will say one thing, thank goodness SmackDown's back at 2 hours. I didn't enjoy SmackDown much last night, and I know it's a holiday and it's a taped show, but at least SmackDown's at 2 hours again and for the permanent run. Thank God.
Hopefully it stays that way forever.
6 months we had to endure 3 hours of torture with SmackDown. 6 months. There were rumors that it was going to be pushed back until the fall to go back to 2 hours, but now it's finally back at 2 hours for good. Thank God.
Pick your poison, bro. Pick your poison. 3 hours pick your poison. 3 hours SmackDown or 4 hour Dynamite.
Oh, geez, please. I take neither. I had to take a power pass on both, bro. I take neither. But what is it with it? I'm both gonna say hell no. I say hell no to both as far as I'm concerned. Fuck those.
What is it with these TV shows? What is it with them and adding more hours to their flagship TV shows?
Oh my God.
We saw 3 hour Raws, 3 hour SmackDowns, 4 hour Dynamite. My God.
Yep. And that's
no show ever should be over
Dynamite, and it's Dynamite and Collision combined several weeks ago with Dynamite, with AEW Dynamite.
Just too much, honestly. No wrestling television show should ever be above 2 hours. It should never be 3 hours, period. It should be at least 2 hours, 2.5 hours, not 3 or 4.
Yeah, 2.5 hours is the sweet spot, but 3 hours, that's overkill. For a weekly show, it's overkill. So I will say, glad SmackDown's back at 2 hours, but last night I felt bored mostly with the last night's show. And their current roster doesn't really help me either to begin with, but there's rumors of a draft this fall. According to rumors, and looks like it's going to be when that is announced. Mitch and I will probably most likely do a mock draft, and Adam most likely join in with us with that as well. But that should be in the fall when they announce the draft this year. But we're going to talk SmackDown, though, last night's 4th of July. I have not, before we get talking about SmackDown from last night, I do want to say something that I have not been on here. The last time I was on here was 8 days ago. That was the final 3 hour SmackDown, the night before Night of Champions in Saudi. That was me and Mitch on that show. I was supposed to be on the Night of Champions watch party live stream. However, last Saturday in the afternoon, one of my uncles sadly passed away, so I couldn't make the stream for Night of Champions last Saturday. An hour before the stream went live, I got the sad news that one of my uncles passed away, and had to call Mitch and let him know because of one of my uncles passing, I can't make it, and just taking about a week off just to deal with the passing of one of my uncles, and that's the reason why I couldn't make last Saturday's watch party for Night of Champions. So I do apologize on that. But I've not had a live stream here since the SmackDown the night before Night of Champions, but first time here back on YouTube since then. So hope you understand where I'm coming from. I'm sorry for any inconvenience, and that is unfortunately what happened. So I do apologize, and thank you for understanding, and I'm appreciative of all of you here. So I'm hoping you guys understand.
Lots of prayers are with you and your family.
Thank you, man. They passed away at 64.
To lose somebody that was very close to you, somebody that you tried to help.
Yeah, I mostly feel bad for my grandmother, because that's the second son she lost. She raised 3 daughters, 3 sons. My mom being one of them. Now she has only 1 son and 3 daughters left. In fact, she lost her husband, or my grandpa, 2 years ago, and I feel mostly bad for my grandmother and how much it's taken on her, and I mostly feel bad for her.
It's
I almost couldn't tell her the news last week, but I eventually did tell her. And
it's nothing but heartbreak. When you experience that many heartbreaks, it takes a toll on you mentally. It takes a toll on your well-being, but I'm glad she has a good supporting system in you. You're a very good man.
And living there, taking care of her, just because her and her husband were married for 65 years, about pretty much 65 years. So she's lucky to have me around and being with her and taking care of her because, she needs me. Being married for that long and just to be there for her, don't care what anyone says, I feel it's a blessing. So I will say. And she's lucky to have me around. So I just want to say that. And if there's anything I could give, life's too short. Life's too short. Be kind to everyone. Be nice to people. Hug your loved ones. Hug them. Say you love them. Because you never know when your time comes. Life is too short at the end of the day. Treat every day like it's your last because you just never know when your time is up. So, and my uncle, one of my uncles who passed away last Saturday, what happened was because he drank, he was a drinker and he lost a lot of his toes. He was in a lot of pain, pretty much had no quality of life left, and he was suffering, and at least he's not in any more pain. But you know what? We'll see him again, and I know he's watching, so I will say, I know he's watching up there. So I apologize once again for not being on last Saturday's watch stream, but I did watch Night of Champions though, and I did catch up on it afterwards. I did catch up on it, and it was fine. But usually those Saturday shows don't mean much anyways. But it wasn't a bad show in my opinion. But I just want to get that off my chest. So again, I sincerely apologize. Hope you guys understand and know where I'm coming from. So thank you. Thank you for understanding, and I love every single one of you, and I appreciate the support all the way. So thank you all. So hit the like on that video. If you're new watching this, watch this for the first time, or if you're just starting to watch this, hit that like. Be greatly appreciated. And also make sure you do subscribe to Furious Nation. As I am at 227, was 229. Probably it was at 229 now, 227. I think it's probably just a YouTube thing. But let's try and get that to at least 230, 235 subscribers by the end of the summer. Maybe 240 by the end of the summer. So I want to reach that goal by the end of the summer. So hit that like, hit the subscribe, and hit that bell for all notifications. Follow me on X, FioreNick579, Adam Carl on X, links in description, and as well as Instagram and all, Facebook, TikTok. And we are going to get started with the SmackDown post show from last night's SmackDown, 4th of July. Now, they were in Pittsburgh, PA. Britt Baker and Kurt Angle country. No Britt Baker, though. No Kurt Angle, but we do get Cody Rhodes opening the show. This year's King of the Ring. He comes out to Woes. He opens the show. Nice big pop. He comes out, cuts a promo. He talks about winning the King of the Ring. And he talked about beating his protege Randy Orton in the King of the Ring finals, and talks about going to SummerSlam to wrestle WrestleMania rematch at SummerSlam for the title in MetLife. Go ahead.
Mentor Randy Orton.
Yes, mentor Randy Orton for Legacy days, but he mentions beating Randy and Saudi in the King of the Ring final. And then he mentions going after John Cena for SummerSlam to win back the WWE Championship. And he said Rhodes promised he would go on to SummerSlam and beat John Cena to reclaim the WWE Championship. And then Randy Orton comes out, and how he teased heel tendencies on Saturday Night of Champions, that Randy would bring in a chair, exposing the turnbuckle and all. And Randy showed heel tendencies a little bit in this promo as well. So look out for that, because I do expect Cody Rhodes to win back the WWE title at SummerSlam against John Cena, and you just know it's coming, and it should. It really should.
It should.
I feel like with John Cena as champion, it's really holding the show and the title hostage. I really think so. Ever since, Cena's champion just reminds you so much of Vince, like with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns as champion. It really does. It really feels like going backwards. It really feels like Vince-esque, but Cena's never there, and he's a part-timer. Knows his retirement year, but what we've been getting with Cena so far, I think Cody probably could have retained it at WrestleMania, but I know with Cena's last year trying to get number 17, but still. And Cena's heel run coming out of Mania has not been that good. Outside though, lately it's been not bad at all. Been actually good with this recent Night of Champions stuff with CM Punk, then with R-Truth. But before that, his heel run wasn't really clicking. But I do expect Cena to lose that title back to Cody at SummerSlam, as it should. And it'll do good for the company, do good for the championship and for SmackDown, because Cena's just holding it hostage. We need a full-time champion back on SmackDown. So we got and when Cody wins back the title from Cena at SummerSlam at MetLife, which I will be there live, by the way, I do expect Randy to go heel and feud with Cody Rhodes on SmackDown over the WWE title throughout the rest of the year. Maybe even give Randy the title before the end of this year. Maybe. Cody could always get back from Randy at the Royal Rumble in Saudi. You know? And Cody could still go into Mania in Vegas next year, WrestleMania 42 as the champion, and probably wrestle CM Punk. You know? That's a possibility. But we get Randy Orton showing heel tendencies, which honestly, I think, Orton still over as a face, but I think I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat as a lot of people. Just would love to see that heel Randy Orton again soon, because Orton just plays. He's the over babyface, but his best work, hands down, Randy Orton's hands down his best work is a heel, hands fucking down, and there's no denying that whatsoever. He's just a great dastardly heel, has been for years. And then this leads to Drew McIntyre coming out. Drew McIntyre is back for the first time since Saturday Night's Main Event Memorial Day weekend, where he lost a steel cage match against Damian Priest. But Drew McIntyre's back, and might I say, when Drew's on TV, he does make the show better.
He does make it better.
Drew McIntyre's just great. He's awesome. I don't care what anyone says. He's still that big top guy that, like, when he's on the show, he really does make the show better. Because he's legit, and he's like, just what Drew McIntyre is like when he is on the show, it's a must watch. Like his stuff with CM Punk, and then even his Damian Priest match at WrestleMania, even I'd say that. But I am happy to see Drew McIntyre back, though. But
yeah.
He did try and drive a wedge, but he did try to drive a wedge between Cody and Randy. And he said that Orton and Rhodes had beta male energy, but says, don't worry, because the alpha male is back. And then he accused Cody Rhodes of stabbing Randy in the back, specifically because Cody went after Orton's surgically repaired back during their King of the Ring final match in Saudi Night of Champions. Then Drew said he wanted Cody Rhodes to go ahead and beat Cena because when he beat Cena at SummerSlam, I'm coming for that title. And then it leads to Drew McIntyre getting an RKO from Randy Orton. And that was the opening segment. Thoughts on this, bro? Thoughts on this, Adam Carl?
I liked it. Honestly, the presence of McIntyre was really missed on this show.
Yeah.
Now with Drew McIntyre, whenever he's put in, a huge program.
And that's what the show needs, is star power. Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens.
Whenever Drew McIntyre, is put, in a program, when he's on the show, he brings that life, bring that energy, a certain energy that, not a lot of people have.
Exactly. That sense of urgency, just that, that arm shot of a gentleman that the show needs. Like he just brings that kind of vibe. Like when he's on there, does make the show better. The same thing with like a Kevin Owens, who still unfortunately doesn't have neck surgery, but I am hoping he's not forced to retire.
Yeah.
But he's another guy I miss dearly on this show, is Kevin Owens. But this opening segment, I thought it did its job. I enjoyed it. Happy to see Drew McIntyre back, and he's in the fold. And since he said that he's going after the WWE title. We're not going to get Drew versus Cena. That's not going to happen. So just based on this, Drew's putting his name in the hat to be in line for the WWE Championship and the WWE title picture. It does make Cody and Cena at SummerSlam predictable because Cody's not losing. Cena's not beating Cody again at SummerSlam. That's not going to happen. Cody's winning that belt back at SummerSlam. Mark my words. And it looks like we're going to get Cody and Drew for the WWE title coming out of SummerSlam. I don't mind that at all. I have zero issue with that.
Yeah.
You know? And maybe have that match for Clash in Paris. That would be great. And at least that time or after that time you can have, that's when you can turn Randy heel and have him turn on Cody, and Randy can win the belt off Cody by the end of the year. I think they could do that. I wouldn't mind it. So I like this with Drew in the WWE title picture because it adds legitimacy to the main event scene, which the show needs. So I don't mind this at all. And I also booked Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton for Saturday night's main event. So they're really stacking up Saturday night's main event against All in Texas. Let's just hope we don't get too many commercials this time on July 12th, Saturday night's main event. Please. It really took away from that last Saturday night's main event on Memorial Day weekend. Just commercial after commercial. That was fucking awful. Like every 2 minutes a commercial. I'm hoping that's not the case again with this one. Because you get Drew and Randy. They have LA Knight, Seth Rollins, and then they got Goldberg and Gunther for the world title and Goldberg's retirement match. So...
yeah, let's just not hope the show is not littered with commercial after commercial.
Oh my God.
It literally took away from the last Saturday night's main event.
It took away from the whole show. It just made the it really made so many commercials just made the show awful because it was nothing but commercial. It really does take away from any show when you have too many commercials. It's just not a good look. But
yeah.
We then go to a backstage thing with Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre, where Nick Aldis made Drew McIntyre Randy Orton official for Saturday night's main event. So, I mean, could this lead to Drew and Orton at SummerSlam? I don't think this is a one and done. Because this might be a SummerSlam match on one of the nights, Drew versus Orton. I wouldn't mind that either. Yeah, and Drew gets the W.
And this is your first 2 night SummerSlam. You need as much star power on that show, as many big matches as you can to put it on the show.
Exactly. So
you could put McIntyre versus Orton there. You could set up that match at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we go to another backstage thing with Nick Aldis. Before Jacob Fatu confronted Nick Aldis, we did get a stare down backstage with Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, which did intrigue me. So that's another banger right there. Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. Man, would that be something? Yeah. Speaking of Jacob Fatu, Yadamin, all gas, no brakes. He and Big Jimmy Uso, go to Nick Aldis. And Nick Aldis makes the SmackDown main event a tag team match of Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu versus 2 members of the Bloodline. So that was made for last night's SmackDown main event. And then we go to another backstage with Nick Aldis, backstage with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, where they were hesitant to team as tag team partners for the first match of the night of last night's SmackDown, but with Alexa and Charlotte feuding, now they have to be tag team partners. And Charlotte's like, I don't play with others, and I don't like sharing the spotlight. And then Alexa's like, spotlight, you haven't been much in the spotlight. But I will say though, Alexa
she's always in the spotlight.
Yeah. But I will say though, about this right here, I mean, Alexa, I would much rather on TV than Charlotte. It's just nauseating TV. She still is. I cannot stand Charlotte Flair. Just hogging a spotlight. I mean, you see me rant about Charlotte on this show. You catch my drift. So I don't need to really explain it because I've ranted about Charlotte on live streams with Mitch on the show. So especially at the Royal Rumble this past February when she won it, I shit all over. But you guys catch my drift on that. But we get the first match of the night. We got a triple threat women's tag team match. The winner of this is in a fatal four-way women's tag team title match at Evolution on July 13th with Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez defending the women's tag team titles against the team from Raw, team from SmackDown, and the team from NXT. We got the winner of this triple threat women's tag match here on SmackDown from last night. We're going to get a Raw women's team this Monday on Raw, and NXT probably going to be Sol Ruca and Zarya. And Sol Ruca, the current NXT Women's North American champion. I could probably see that. But we get Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. They face the Secret Hervis, and they face B-Fab and Nichin. And I see Adam Carl with the... I know what you're about to say. And yes, it is Secret Hervis, bro. Come on.
It is the Secret Losers.
Secret Losers? Well, wait. Are you sure it's that name, bro?
The Secret Losers.
Or what was it?
That's all they do is
lose. The Secret what? Purvis?
No. It's not.
Oh, you changed your name there, bro.
Yeah. The Secret Losers.
But they salute Chelsea Green's the first ever women's U.S. champion. You know, let's get them some W's. They got pinned in this match. We had Charlotte.
I kind of do feel bad. In a way, I kind of do feel bad for Alba.
Charlotte Flair doing her ugly moonsault. Alexa does to tag herself in. And our Charlotte hits her awful moonsault. Then Alexa Bliss hits a Twisted Bliss. And Alexa Bliss pins Alba Fire for Alexa and Charlotte to win. And they go to Evolution.
I kind of do feel bad in a way for Alba and Piper. Like, what are they doing with them? Honestly, what are they doing?
They're fucking losers. I'm sorry, I like both Alba and Piper, but they're worth so much more than this. And get them away from Chelsea Green.
It's like, what do? All they do with this faction, all they do is lose. I mean, I know we joke around here about them, but it's like, in all seriousness, honestly, like, what are they doing with them? Like, you can't make them look credible.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, like I wasn't really into this match at all. Like, it just was just not good. Like, Alba and Piper get them away from Chelsea Green, you know, and B-Fab and Nichin, they're not a fucking team. They're not. And Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair win this match. I will say, though, that Alexa and Charlotte, the women's tag team titles don't mean jack shit. Let's get that. Let's be real with that. The women's tag team titles do not mean a damn thing. They are fucking worthless. However, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss in the match here, in this Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team title match at Evolution, does add some star power to the match at Evolution. I will say, though. Yeah. Thoughts?
I mean, it's the same thing. It's pretty much, you know, what Alexa and Charlotte are there for. You know, they're in this match, you know, because they need some stars in there. And, you know, the storyline is interesting, I will say. You know, I'm kind of intrigued by it.
I don't think they'll win the titles, though.
Yeah.
Because I can see Charlotte and Alexa at SummerSlam.
I mean, I assume that it will be the SummerSlam match, you know, Alexa and Charlotte.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what this is. You know, it's Evolution. You know, they need as much star power, need as many stars in that division to be in there. You know,
I understand.
Charlotte and Alexa are stars of the division, so they should be on the show.
Yeah, I just understand why we still have these women's tag team titles, dude. Seriously,
I answer the same. I question the same thing.
Can we just fucking burn the women's tag team titles, please? Is what I will say. Where is Kane to come out of retirement and just burn those women's tag titles, dude? Seriously, they mean nothing. Ever since Billie Kay and Peyton Royce won them 6 years ago, those titles have been fucking dead and have not meant a damn thing. Fact.
Honestly. Why would they even introduce to begin with?
What's even the point of even having them? They're useless. They're fucking useless. And there's no teams. That's the thing. There's no teams. And Just focus on the women's IC title and women's US title. We don't need women's tag team titles. We don't. Oh, well, don't get rid of, well, what about adding women's tag teams? Let's do that. No, burn them. Fucking burn them. Burn the women's tag titles. But Charlotte and Alexa win this match. I mean, they beat Secret Hervis and B-Fab and Michin. Who cares? Though I will say Charlotte and Alexa in the match of Evolution for the women's tag team titles does add star power to the match that it does need. So I will say, though. But Charlotte and Alexa win this match. We then get a backstage skit where Fraxian versus Andrade and Rey Fenix in a tag team match later in the night is made. And then we get the next match of the show, an 8-man tag, the Wyatt Six of Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, and Uncle Howdy, this Bo Dallas. They take on Montez Ford, one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, and they also take on Chris Sabin, Johnny Gargano, and Berto, who is actually one half of the AAA Tag Team Champions with Angel of Legado del Fantasma. They just recently won the AAA Tag Team titles, and they do, I will say, though, they do look good on them.
Yeah.
And yes, it is Berto, bro.
It's Humberto Carrillo.
We go back on this, like watching SmackDown together sometimes. I know we go back and forth. It is Berto. Humberto Carrillo? I don't know that guy. I'm sorry. I don't know who that guy is. I mean, I've watched the guy. He's not here, but it's Berto. I will say, though, myself. I don't know what your thoughts are, but that's my take. So yes, bro, it is Berto.
It's Humberto Carrillo. What kind of a name is a Berto? It's Angel and Humberto.
This guy right here. It's Berto, bro. This fucking guy.
It's Humberto. Always has been and always will be.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Anyways, this 8-man tag, I mean, it was just there. The past several months we have had story with the SmackDown tag division, though, but what did you think of this 8-man tag?
This 8-man tag, it was all right, I guess.
We did get
it was solid, you know, there was some nice action.
Yeah, but
it felt as though it felt like more to advance a story. It felt more like, you know, advancing an angle more than anything. Probably. Basically, you know, because, you know, every other team, basically it's the Wyatt Six against pretty much the entirety of the tag team division. And now they are forced to now work together against, those supernatural, spooky guys, who bring fear upon them.
Yeah.
It's it was all right, but it's just I think it was more to basically kind of make the Wyatt Six look this fearful team.
Yeah, but this Wyatt Six group, ever since they've come back on SmackDown a while ago, I do have to say this, dude. I really do. Spooky characters in wrestling in 2025 just really don't work anymore. They really don't. I don't know what's going on with the Wyatt Six. I don't know how you feel. Are they really not clicking, or what's the hell's going on? I mean, spooky characters really don't work in wrestling in 2025, but something is not like.
I mean, it's not that they are spooky in a way. It's not like they go full on. I mean, thank God. It's just that, there are other teams better than them. It's not to say that the Wyatt Six are terrible. I like the faction.
No, they're not. They can wrestle, but
it's just that do they need the tag team titles, though? Are their characters fit for a championship?
I mean, you don't need to do a lot of the spooky shit. Just let them be badasses and go out there and just destroy everyone in their path. That's going to get them over.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's what they need.
Like how it was last year when they were on Raw. And I think they feuded with the Final Testament of Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain, Akam and Rezar. And even they fought The Miz, I believe, in Scarlet last summer on Raw. I do remember that.
Yeah.
And they just destroyed everyone in their path. They destroyed Chad Gable, just destroyed everybody that got in their way. That's how they should be booked on SmackDown. Not this a lot of this spooky stuff, the lights go out, come back on, that doesn't work anymore in wrestling in 2025. I'm sorry. That shit doesn't slide, and it doesn't get over. And I feel that's
Honestly,
why
I'm not sure.
recently the White Six haven't been really clicking as of
Honestly, I'm
late.
not sure why you even make
And
them,
Mitch, I remember
weird.
Mitch
Let
saying
them
that,
go out there
like,
and wrestle.
and I remember Mitch for a while saying he doesn't really care for the White Six. I can't really blame him. I really can't. Looking at this recently, I can't blame him.
Honestly, I don't know what's going on there. I mean, they don't have to be. You don't have to be. Portray them as this, fearful team. I mean, just let them go out there and wrestle. I think that's
Exactly.
what they. Honestly, let them go out there and wrestle and have Beldalis, Uncle Howdy show emotion.
Yeah, and you got Eric Rowan, you got Dexter Loomis, and you got Joe Gacy. Those, I mean, Loomis and Gacy can go in that ring. In that ring, they can work.
Honestly, just let them go out there and do what they do best.
Big
let
man
them
too,
go out there
for
and ropes and wrestle.
Exactly.
Hopefully we see more of that, because we definitely saw that, on SmackDown.
Yeah. I will say though, the babyface team looked very good though in this match, with Montez Ford with his usual dives and all this other shit.
Gargano and Shelley.
Gargano. There was one spot Johnny Gargano said to, I think he said to Dexter Loomis, or Dexter Loomis said, "We're not family anymore," because there was the way in NXT of Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae. I think he had Indy Hartwell and Dexter Loomis. He had Austin Theory, and I think he had Tommaso Ciampa as well, called The Way in NXT. Yeah. Like, remember that? The Way?
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
So those little flashes like, "Oh, we're not family anymore," said Johnny or Dexter, but I'm sorry?
Yeah, that was a fun group. They were very entertaining.
Johnny Gargano. I did hear some Johnny wrestling chants. This is the past couple weeks. Johnny Gargano has gotten some nice Johnny wrestling chants. I don't know what this means, if it means anything or sign of things to come. So it looks like Johnny might be getting over recently, but because I have been picking that up. But it's nice to hear Johnny wrestling chants. Johnny Gargano's great. Big Johnny Gargano. Love Johnny Gargano. Like that underdog, like Daniel Bryan. The guy's great. And I mean, eventually I would like to see DIY split up and have Johnny go on his own. I think he's more valuable right now. I don't think he really needs to tag with Tommaso Ciampa right now. I think both men right now are beneficial on their own. Like, have Johnny in the mid card as that underdog babyface fighting for the United States Championship. You could do Ciampa in the U.S. title picture as well. They could do the WWE title picture if built up to where they need to be, because they had a great rivalry in NXT Black and Gold over the NXT title when Tommaso Ciampa was NXT champion. Remember that when Ciampa beat Aleister Black the summer of 2018 for the NXT title, and Ciampa was talking to the grandma in the front row at Full Sail saying, "I'm your NXT champion," and Ciampa saying, "I'm the greatest sports entertainer's NXT champion in history." And then before all that, Ciampa had no music, came out to chorus of boos, and they had their TakeOver in New Orleans match where Johnny Gargano got his job back, winning an unsanctioned match. And yeah, Tommaso turned on Johnny at TakeOver Chicago 1 in May of 2017, and that was great. They had really good classics in Black and Gold, and a great rivalry of theirs, Johnny and Tommaso. And I would love to see that relived on the main roster here on SmackDown.
I mean, they definitely have something there.
And that's what SmackDown could use. They could do the mid card or the main event like that. I think that would be great. I'd love to see that because they had a very good rivalry in Black and Gold.
I mean, it could be interesting. Both guys could bring something to that. To that U.S. title picture. I will say. Just imagine. I think one of them could honestly hold that championship if they ever decide to go with that breakup.
And if they do break up DIY, I would have Johnny go babyface again. I really would. I think that would be the route to go. I don't mind Johnny Gargano as a heel, but I feel at the same time, and mostly in my opinion, I feel like he does play a heel fine, but it also feels very forced with him when he plays the heel. He just works better as a babyface. He's just a natural babyface, is Johnny Gargano.
I gotta say though, can Ciampa grow back his beard?
Yeah, I mean he's not there yet, but I do feel you. I agree with you. He has
it feels so wrong.
Like how I have this beard, but it's gray. This is kind of like how this length of this goatee here. or it's not beard, but it's goatee.
It's so wrong.
That's
That look
what
is just
Tommaso
so
Ciampa's
wrong.
beard looks like. It's not fully grown back yet.
He needs to grow that back.
Yeah. Though, yeah, I agree. But we did have the Wyatt Six win this match. You did have Eric Rowan pin Chris Sabin off the Iron Claw chokeslam after Chris Sabin was trying to make a tag to Johnny Gargano, but Gargano refused to tag, hopped off the apron, refused to tag, and that's when Eric Rowan destroyed Chris Sabin with the Iron Claw chokeslam and got the win. The Wyatt Six win the match. I don't know if this leads to the Motor City Machine Guns against DIY, but what are your thoughts?
I mean, the match, I will say, that was solid. It was, all six of, all 8 guys, they're very good in their own way. I do feel as if, do we really need another DIY Motor City Machine Guns match? I mean, the matches are fantastic, but it kind of feels tiring.
Yeah,
I think we need some fresh matchups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need some fresh matchups, I will say.
If
maybe
it's
DIY against Machine Guns, maybe a number 1 contenders match.
Yeah.
The winner gets the title shot at SummerSlam.
Or maybe this leads to a multi-man match for the tag titles at SummerSlam and they end this rivalry there.
Maybe.
A ladder match, something, maybe. I could see that.
The issue is, though, we already got one on the on the SmackDown after Mania.
Yeah, that was a TLC match, but still it's the same thing.
Yeah, are they really going to run a ladder match after they run a TLC match? It kind of feels like a downgrade.
It does. It feels like too many.
Yeah.
I understand with the storyline-wise coming from the beginning of the year with the tag teams on SmackDown, storyline-wise, but still. That's just me, though. But I will say, if we get a draft in the fall, I'm really hoping, like with the Guns and DIY, we've seen it too many times. I feel like if hopefully we get a draft this fall, I would seriously move this Motor City Machine Guns to Monday Night Raw. I really would. And that tag division on Raw needs all the help they can get. That's just me, my opinion. But we then go to a very nice video package for the brand new Women's United States Champion, the beautiful Madness Julia. And she talked about how she's the beautiful Madness and nobody's ready for the beautiful Madness. And she had a very nice video package. This was a nice video package, I will say, though.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's next for Julia. Then now that she's a new Women's U.S. Champion, she won it last week on the night before Night of Champions, rightfully so. Destroyed Zelina Vega, rightfully so. Don't care what anyone says. Zelina Vega was not a good champion at all. Sucked. She sucked. Now belt's off of Zelina Vega. Thank goodness. But I'm hoping they have something nice for Julia in the future. I don't know who could potentially challenge her. There's not much on the SmackDown Women's Division. That SmackDown Women's Division is very mid. I don't know who you could have Julia face for that championship, unless you call up someone like a Jordan Grace or Sol Ruca to SmackDown or something like that, or Lola Vice to SmackDown. But what are your thoughts?
I mean, the video package was good. Julia has been heavily featured on SmackDown. She's been treated like a star. She feels like a star. As she should. She will be. She will be a women's champion at some point. It's only a matter of when.
Yes. Oh yeah. But
the matter though with the U.S. Women's title is that they don't have enough star power on that SmackDown Women's division.
No, that SmackDown's Women's division is very, very fucking mid.
Yeah.
This is why we need
Charlotte and Alexa are doing their thing.
This is why we need the draft this fall to fix that division, dude. Seriously.
I mean, with Charlotte and Alexa, they're having their own storyline. It doesn't even involve the U.S. title, but it doesn't need it. Naomi's Miss Money in the Bank. Could she really go after the mid-card belt when she has when she can go after the WWE Women's Championship?
And Naomi's cashing that shit right at SummerSlam. I'm telling you now.
Jade is still got a feud with Naomi. She has, they have that, the last women in the no holds barred match in Evolution. She will challenge for the women's title at SummerSlam. She's gonna be in that title picture.
We'll get to that, but yeah. But yeah, that SmackDown Women's Division is very.
Bianca Belair is still like ways off of a return. She's still like, I don't know if I will say months, but she's weeks away from a return. She's not gonna be back for a while.
Yeah. But
and then what do you got on the on the women's division? What, Zelina Vega? She lost. lost
Yeah,
decisively.
the secret Hervis, nobody wants to see that.
The secret losers lose every match.
Michin, no, she's boring. BFAB, no.
She challenged how many times for the U.S. title, ends up taking that L.
Yeah, there's really not much on that SmackDown women's division. They really, that SmackDown women's division needs really all the help they can get, just like the Raw tag team division.
Yeah.
You know, it's a problem. Like call up a Solo Levice or a Sol Ruka or Tatum Paxley or like Jordan Grace is rumored to go to SmackDown soon. Hopefully that's still the case. Call up a Fallon Henley to SmackDown or Tatum Paxley to SmackDown, something like that. Give that SmackDown women's division some adrenaline, some juice, some life that it needs. Because right now there's not much right now in that SmackDown women's division, and that shouldn't be a thing. So, we go to the next part of the show, a segment with Jade Cargill, the Queen of the Ring of this year, Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton, and they cut a promo, and Jade talks about winning the Queen of the Ring, how she's going to go to SummerSlam, take the title off Tiffany Stratton. Then Trish Stratus comes out, and Tiffany picks her opponent for Evolution for the women's title. It's against Trish Stratus. And Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton is made official for the women's title at Evolution. It feels thrown together. There's no story, but I will say, though, it's not like a random NXT person that has nothing to do with Tiffany Stratton. It makes no sense. At least Tiffany and Trish have some history, especially going back to March 1st at the Elimination Chamber in Toronto, where they teamed and beat Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. That I will say. So it feels thrown together and rushed. Triple H, I feel like Triple H with throwing this together rushed, though. I will say however, I mean, Tiffany and Trish, though, I will say does make sense.
Yeah.
Because of their history. They have something to do with each other. Same thing like Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, who they've both pretty much feuded with each other since the beginning of the year, ever since Rhea won the belt back from Liv on the first Raw on Netflix. And then Io Sky on the Raw for the Chamber this past March, then beat Rhea on Raw for the women's world title to Io Sky, and she's held it ever since. And she beat Io and Bianca at WrestleMania 41 Night 2 in Las Vegas to Io Sky. And a great triple threat for the women's world title. One of the best matches of this year, still hands down of this year. And we get Io versus Rhea also for the women's world title Evolution, which I think main events Evolution and should. But I will say, though, it does feel randomly thrown together, though I will say the opponents with the matches does make sense, though. There is story to it, has something to do, and it does make sense, I will say, though. So, but Jade Cargill did not sound good either in this promo. What are your thoughts on all this that I just said?
It just there's something missing with
there
this.
Is like
there's something missing.
Yeah, like it just feels it's not bad, but it just feels very safe.
Yeah, I mean with Tiffany as well,
there's not enough
to get
you to
I mean, she's a fantastic talent, but promos are not exactly her strong suit.
Yeah, no disrespect to Tiffany, but I have to agree with you there, bro.
Yeah, we're big Tiffany fans here, obviously, but promos are not her strength. I think she can do better with it.
Exactly. Jade Cargill, don't even get me started. Sucks on the mic and not good in the ring either. Very manufactured is Jade Cargill.
Honestly, the most entertaining part of that storyline, the most entertaining part of this whole title situation is Naomi.
Yes,
she's done the best work of her fucking career
right there. Yeah, that's a big factor right there, Naomi. So watch out for that because we're gonna get Tiffany is beating Trish at Evolution. It feels predictable. Tiffany is not losing to Trish at Evolution. Should be a good match though. But Tiffany's gonna beat Trish at Evolution. And we're going to still get Tiffany and Jade for the women's title at SummerSlam at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. I think Jade could win the title at SummerSlam only for Naomi. And you still see the vision. Naomi, Naomi's cashing in that briefcase at SummerSlam. It's coming. She's going to cash it on Jade, and Bianca's going to help Naomi. And Naomi's going to cash it on Jade, and Naomi's going to walk out of SummerSlam in New Jersey at MetLife as the women's champion. You see where this is going. Especially Naomi and Jade Cargill, now made also for Evolution, no holds barred, when after this segment, Naomi attacked Jade Cargill backstage, and Jade went to Nick Aldis, said, I want Naomi at Evolution. Okay, Jade, it's official at Evolution. Jade Cargill versus Naomi at Evolution, no holds barred. So that was made official. And I expect Jade Cargill to win that match. And I would have Jade win the match, not only that, but have Jade win the match, but it writes Naomi off till SummerSlam, and then you see Naomi cash in at SummerSlam. And then that's when you see Naomi walk out a SummerSlam with the women's title, cash in on Jade Cargill, or make it a triple threat with maybe JD eating the pin. Something like that. Or what did you mention like before recently? Like Naomi could cash in before SummerSlam, but I think it's right that Naomi cashes in at SummerSlam. And you just see where it's going.
Yeah.
Especially with this match made for Evolution, Jade versus Naomi. Jade Cargill's going to win. I would have Jade win this and have her write off Naomi off TV until SummerSlam. I think this, that's what if I'm booking this, it's how I'm booking it. And Jade's not losing going into SummerSlam. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So, so that I will say though, and also the wild card is Bianca Belair. She could also go heel, which I still think happens because I do think she has something to do with Jade Cargill.
I think it's the Bianca return. I think if you were to go with it, you got the Naomi, you got Jade challenging for the title, Naomi's holding the briefcase. Naomi with Bianca, I do think we see a Bianca return at SummerSlam. Yeah. But this is the scenario I envision. I think Jade beats Tiffany at SummerSlam. She wins the championship.
Yeah.
Naomi comes out. She attempts to cash her, but Bianca, we hear her theme music. She comes out. Naomi backs off. Then it seems like Jade and Bianca, they're good together.
Yeah, Naomi attacks Jade, and then Naomi's about to cash in. About to cash in the briefcase before the bell rings.
Bianca comes out. She makes the save for Jade, but then she turns on Jade afterwards.
Yeah, and then it allows Naomi to cash in. Yeah, I could see that too.
And then Naomi cashes in and she wins the championship.
Yeah. Or what if, I haven't brought this up, what if Bianca returns before SummerSlam? We get Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam for the women's title, but we get Bianca Belair as the special guest referee. You have Jade win the championship, right? And Naomi can come out, try and cash in, but Bianca KOD's Jade Cargill turns on her, allowing Naomi to cash in. Almost similar, but like a female version though. But in a female version though, of like where Triple H pedigree Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam 2013, allowing Randy Orton to cash in his Money in the Bank, but this time with Naomi, Jade, and Bianca. Thoughts on that?
Probably. You can go that scenario.
Yeah, and if Bianca's the referee, that's done for a reason, and I would say, yeah, definitely do that. I know Bianca should be in a match on the card, but if you're gonna have her as a referee, that's the way to do. That's the way to go about it. And if Bianca's a referee in the Jade and Tiffany match for the women's title at SummerSlam, you better believe Naomi's cashing in and walking out of SummerSlam with that women's title. No doubt about it. Either way, she's walking out of New Jersey with the championship as Naomi. I'm telling you now. She will cash in successfully at SummerSlam and will win that women's title at SummerSlam will be Naomi. Yep. She's put in the work. And she's done, and ever since she's been turned heel early this year, she's put in the work and she's been doing really good. She's been doing great stuff on SmackDown. She's been killing it as the heel as Naomi. She's been doing really well with the promos, vignettes. She's been doing great, and she deserves to be rewarded for her hard work. Just proceed with caution, though.
Yeah, you should.
I don't like though. What do you think of the Money in the Bank briefcase design, though? It's
they gave her own design.
It's not better than the Seth Rollins with all black and yellow or gold.
It kind of looks messy. it kind of looks weird. I think there are like too many I think there are like too many caution signs on it. I think they need to strip it down at least.
It feels a little too polished.
I think it's too messy. Like
Yeah.
I know, her gimmick is, proceed with caution. Yeah, proceed with caution, absolutely. But there's too many signs on it. I think they don't have to put too many caution, signs on it. It kind of looks messy. I think that it's not the worst design I've ever seen. Far from it. It just they could have come up with something better.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree with you.
It's not even gonna last long anyway, I guess.
Nah, no, it won't.
It's not there for the long haul.
But
I guess it was just there for merch reasons. I guess they could sell it on WWE Shop. I'm sure it's gonna sell very well.
Probably.
It's honestly what it feels like to me. It's just there for merch because Naomi's not gonna hold that briefcase for long before she wins that championship.
Very true, but we do get, after Naomi attacking Jade Cargill backstage, the match with Jade and Naomi at Evolution No Holds Barred made official by Nick Aldis, the SmackDown GM. We then go to the next match, second to last match of the night, Andrade and Rey Fénix. This is El Idolo and Animo, Andrade and Rey Fénix taking on Fraxium. This is Nathan Frazier and Fraxium. This was probably my favorite match of the whole night. Hands down. Wrestling-wise, this was probably the best match of the entire show. This was really, really good stuff here with all four guys here. Really nice spots. Spanish Fly, and then the Phoenix Splash combo from Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Rey Fénix breaks it up by hitting a code breaker on Axiom or whatnot to break up the count. We then get the Judas effect by Andrade to Nathan Frazier, and man, he sold that really damn well. And then the goodbye amigo kick from Rey Fénix onto Axiom. And Andrade has the underhook on Axiom, I think it is. On Axiom. Rey Fénix runs the ropes, flips over Andrade in the ropes to take out I think it's Nathan Frazier with the tope dive as Rey Fénix, and then Andrade hits the message 1, 2, 3, and it's over. This was a damn good match. This was great. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, an incredible match, between four naturally gifted athletes. And honestly, the SmackDown Tag Division, it's the best tag team division in the entire world, honestly.
Absolutely.
Because there's no competition.
And it's better than, and I'm going to say this right now. The SmackDown Tag Division is better than AEW's Tag Division. Don't at me. I don't care what the AEW sickos have to say. It's facts.
Honestly, who comes close?
Yeah. But
honestly, just look at the SmackDown Tag Division. You got Andrade and Fénix. You got Fraxium, the Machine Guns. You got Angel and Humberto. Remember that. You got the Wyatt Six and the Street Profits.
And you got DIY. Don't forget DIY.
Yeah, DIY.
That's like
there's a lot of really
7 tag teams.
Yeah, they've got a really shitload of tag teams. Some really good tag teams.
And also with the Wyatt Six, you got Rowan, Dallas, Bo Dallas, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis. The 4 guys, you could do any 2 of the pair. Like if it's not Bo and Rowan, you could do Bo and Rowan. Then there's another option that adds another tag team, but in one same like 2 tag teams in one because it's 4 guys in the group. Rowan, Dallas, Lumis, and Gacy. Lumis and Gacy, then Rowan and Dallas, or Dallas and Lumis, Dallas and Gacy, Rowan and Lumis, Rowan and Gacy. There's a lot you could really do, So the SmackDown Tag Division, man, compare with Raw's Tag Division, it's night and day. It's really night and day. And man, SmackDown has a very damn good tag division. And now you add Andrade and Rey Fénix to the mix. And I'm very happy Andrade lately is getting TV time. I really am. And the guy is a great wrestler. He just needed direction. Now he's finally getting it, and I love it. And he wasn't doing much of anything for a while. Same thing with Phoenix, but you put him in a tag team now. I'm really liking what they're doing the past couple weeks with them, and it's been working. Clearly, it's been working. And I don't think it's been for the. I don't think it's going to last for a long time, because I can see
It's
Andrade.
kind of a temporary. It's a temporary pairing. That's what it
Yeah.
feels.
Because I can see Andrade going heel.
Well, Andrade, he's doing some of his best work.
Yeah.
They have incredible chemistry together.
Yeah.
I could see them being challengers for the tag team titles soon. Maybe after SummerSlam, or at SummerSlam itself.
Probably.
Thing is, though, I think this pairing is short-lived. I think what this pairing is, I think it's standby. Andrade is a standby for Penta.
What if we get a draft this fall? What if they move Penta to SmackDown?
Yeah. Honestly, that's what it feels like. Andrade, he's with Rey Fenix, but because they're not going to reunite the Lucha Bros yet. They don't have.
Imagine we get the Lucha, and imagine we get the Lucha Bros on SmackDown, dude. Holy shit! Like you talk about SmackDown's tag division really being the best in the United States for wrestling, tag team wrestling. Man, they add the Lucha Bros. Holy shit! But I could absolutely see Penta move to SmackDown if we get a draft this fall, because he's feuding with Seth.
You could make Andrade an ally of the Lucha Bros.
You could, but though I will say, Andrade, I could see before we get the Lucha Bros back together. I will say I could see Andrade eventually turning on Rey Fenix. Andrade goes heel. And we get a SmackDown, at least the mid-card, decent SmackDown program with Andrade as a heel and Rey Fenix as a babyface. You get Zelina Vega involved, turn her heel, pair her back with Andrade, reunite Andrade and Zelina Vega Andrade and Zelina Vega were a great pairing at NXT Black and Gold. That's where Zelina Vega needs to be as a manager, not in the ring wrestling. Zelina Vega is a better manager than she is a pro wrestler. I would get Zelina Vega and Andrade back together. Turn Andrade heel eventually on Rey Fenix. Eventually Andrade turns on Phoenix. You get Zelina going heel as well. Put her back with Andrade. And relive their NXT Black and Gold roots on SmackDown. I think that would really I think that's a lot better off for Andrade and for Zelina. And it would do Rey Fenix good as well. And the match they'd have would be the matches they'd have would be great. And I think it's better. And I think it's better off when the time comes. And then when Penta is on the same brand as Phoenix, you get the Lucha Bros back together, and then there you go. Thoughts? Oh. As soon as I said thoughts, I don't know what happened to Adam Carl, but he'll be probably back in a little bit. But those are my thoughts on that. And Fraxium looked good too. I mean, they've cooled down a little bit, though they just got here. I wouldn't rush them to the tag titles right now. Give them a little bit of time, but they're still fine though on this show. They've cooled off a little bit, but not that much, though. I will say, though, myself. But this was some good stuff with Fraxium and Rey Fenix. And Adam Carl is back. Sorry. Apologize for the technical difficulties. I don't know what happened on Adam Carl's end. Maybe the internet. I don't know what happened. But, yeah. As I mentioned, bro, Andrade turns on Rey Fenix when the time's right. They get Zelina Vega, Andrade back together. Have Andrade and Zelina feud with Phoenix and a feud on SmackDown, and when you move Penta to the same show as Phoenix and the time's right, get the Lucha Bros back together, or like you said, as a trio, and then maybe Andrade turns.
I would just go the trios, right? I don't think Andrade needs to go heel, not now at least. I think you could do something with him as a babyface, and the crowd are getting behind him.
Absolutely,
yeah.
And their entrance was cool too, by the way.
I mean, their presentation is really good. They have some of the best entrances in the company, and Andrade feels. He has a presence when he comes out with doing his entrance with with the coat and the mask.
Oh, idolo.
Yeah, he has a presence with that entrance. Makes him feel bigger.
Then Ray Phoenix entrance by who I think Adam Jones of Tool has some with this Ray Phoenix's current new theme.
Yeah, he looks like a superhero over there. It makes him look like a superhero.
Yeah. This is some great stuff. Probably the best match of the entire night. Love to see more. Something like this.
Yeah.
Then we go to a backstage thing with Damian Priest and Aleister Black. Good old Aleister Black. He had a backstage face-to-face confrontation with Damian Priest, and Damian Priest and Aleister Black mentions R-Truth, and you get him in a match next week. Then Damian Priest says something like, "Who says I'm the good guy?" Damian Black. Black's like, Aleister Black's like, Damian Priest's like, Black. And we're gonna get Aleister Black versus R-Truth on SmackDown next week, just like SmackDown next week for the tag team titles, the Wyatt Six versus the Street Profits. But it looks like what we're seeing here recently with Aleister Black and all. Aleister Black, I think beats R-Truth next week or just destroys him. I mean, what do you think? Aleister Black's a heel? Do you see Aleister Black versus Damian Priest at SummerSlam? Because I would not mind that at all.
I think we see that match at SummerSlam. I think they need to give Aleister Black something big.
Absolutely. I have no issue with that at all. And Aleister Black goes over. He beats a former world champion. And I've seen a rumor a little while ago, not that long ago, that WWE, Triple H, and the creative team they really like Aleister Black a lot, and they really want to move him up the card, have him be a main eventer on SmackDown, be a big and have him be a big star in WWE. And you're seeing it now, and I like this a lot. And it's no surprise that he's it's no surprise being the fact that he's a big Triple H guy, but
Paul Heyman is also a big advocate for
it. Yeah. I like this, man. I really, really do. And good with Aleister Black for moving him up the card. Like I would have him destroy R-Truth next week, and then he goes on to SummerSlam and he beats Damian Priest. He beats a former world champion and Priest. That's a big deal.
Honestly, that's what he needs right now. I think that's what he needs. He needs to be feuding with top level talent.
Yeah, look at Rusev on Raw. He beat Sheamus clean this past Monday on Raw. It was the Pittsburgh crowd this past Monday on Raw sucked, but Rusev and Sheamus I heard had a very good match Monday on Raw.
Yeah, it was very physical, very intense. And Rusev looked good out there.
And Rusev said, "Thank you, the little baby brother has grown up. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Sheamus."
Yeah.
So. And like you said before, this is who Rusev needs to feud with, not like Tozawa, but feud with guys like Sheamus.
Yeah, this is what will help get Rusev over. Not feuding with Tozawa
or Otis.
Or Otis, two people that that never win.
Two losers. And I hate to say that about Otis, but he's a loser.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Same thing with Aleister Black. Now have him wrestle guys like fucking Kent Wilson and The Miz. And Carmelo Hayes, who's unfortunately
he black masses The Miz like 10 times a week.
But The Miz is awesome. It was funny seeing it. No. That's not what you do with Aleister Black. Have him feud with The Miz for 5, 6 weeks.
Basically he wrestles The Miz pretty much like every week.
And then wrestles with Carmelo Hayes because he's paired with The Miz and get him away from The Miz. Or better yet, we have a draft this fall. Let's move Carmelo Hayes to Monday Night Raw and get him away from The Miz. That would be great.
Yeah, this is or feuding with or wrestling Kit Wilson or Elton Prince.
Yeah.
A feud with Damian Priest, that's what he needs. Feuding with guys like Priest is exactly what will get him over.
And also turning Aleister Black heel. No, why? There's too many heels. Why would you turn Aleister Black heel? I think I like Aleister as a face, but watching his work in AEW didn't do much there. But honestly, right now, I think he works best currently as a heel. I really do.
He's going to retire soon.
Yeah, they're going to need top stars. They're going to start building up their future. AJ Styles probably going to retire soon. Rey Mysterio as well. They're going to need to build up their future now. And you're seeing it now with Aleister Black.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, and that SmackDown roster, they're going to need the. What the hell?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, now you're okay. That's good. I mean, with the SmackDown roster, they need a definitive top heel on that show. Now, because Cena's not lasting long. He's done after December.
And he's gonna go, and I think he's going face again, but right before he retires, I expect after SummerSlam the Cena to go baby face again.
I mean, Randy Orton he could turn, but he's not for the job of being top heel. We've seen it already.
Yeah,
and he's almost near the same age as Cena, though he's not gonna retire anytime soon.
Yeah, but still,
Damian Priest is not gonna go heel.
No,
Cody's not gonna turn heel.
Right now.
Not now, maybe not now. But he's not going to go heel anytime soon. Honestly, you need that top heel on the SmackDown roster, that fans take seriously in that main event position.
Yeah, I know they tried.
You could do that with Aleister Black.
I will say they tried with Aleister Black relive his NXT Black and Gold roots as like a tweener face, but
it just doesn't work anymore.
But it was over then. You could have it now.
No.
You don't see Rusev but why not Rusev is Rusev Day? You see some Redeemer Rusev gimmick in WWE.
You move forward.
Exactly.
Not backwards.
Yes, right there. Right there. But this stuff like this.
Rusev's fault that Vince McMahon didn't see anything in Rusev Day, despite being over.
And Adam and fucking Cuck storylines. Don't even get me started on that shit.
It's not Aleister Black's fault that he was in a broom closet for 70% of his main roster run initially.
And then he got released for no reason 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's not their fault, but guess what? You can't change what happened. There is no time machine to change what happened in the past. You move forward.
And Vince killed NXT Black and Gold
new from the ground up.
And when NXT Black and Gold Aleister Black got called up to the main roster 6 years ago in 2019, Vince fucking killed that. He killed it. Just like he killed Rusev Day. You can't bring from the...
You can't bring back something that's already dead.
Exactly. It just doesn't work. Because people remember what happened, what Vince did. People don't forget. So I appreciate them trying, but it just didn't work. And I think Aleister Black now as a heel, I think, is the best thing. And he probably works better as a heel.
Yeah.
And he can play it well, and he has played it well on AEW. And even when he blackmasked R-Truth on SmackDown last week in Saudi, he did smirk, saying, "Ron, I guess we're even."
Yeah.
So.
I mean, he's justified though. I mean, R-Truth did interrupt his interrupted his entrance.
Yeah.
Not that we wanted to see Aleister Black versus Kit Wilson. It would have been a squash anyway. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck would that accomplish? Black squashing Kit Wilson for nothing?
Yeah, in 1 minute. 1 minute, knees and a black mass. And that's what would have happened, pretty much.
Yeah, shit like that's not going to get Aleister over. Aleister Black against people like R-Truth and Damian Priest, that's going to get Aleister Black over right there. So, Aleister Black and Damian Priest looking like it's probably going to be at SummerSlam. I have no issue with that at all. And you have Aleister Black go over at SummerSlam. Right there.
Absolutely.
So then we get to the main event of this show last night. Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso versus two members of the Bloodline. They are up against JC Mateo, the former Jeff Cobb, and the brand new United States champion Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso win the match after Jacob Fatu hits Solo Sikoa with the moonsault, 1, 2, 3, clean win for Jacob Fatu. We then get Fatu and Jimmy they then get taken out post match by Solo Sikoa, JC Mateo, Tonga Loa, and Hikuleo, who's now going by Tala Tonga. They take out Tonga Loa takes out Jimmy Uso with like a draping from the apron, neck breaker to the outside. Jacob Fatu gets a shield bomb through the announce table from the rest of the Bloodline. The Bloodline stand tall over Jacob Fatu, who got put through the announce table as the show goes off the air last night. I didn't really care much for this tag match. I mean, the Bloodline in the main event, it's the same shit. Like, do we really need a Bloodline main event every fucking week? How
many years
Bloodline is on
now?
The Bloodline. What?
The storyline has gone on for 5 years.
The Bloodline. I'm gonna say it. The Bloodline is on life support. The group is dead. Without Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu, this group is dead. Dead. I just don't care. Solo Sikoa, I'm not the biggest Solo Sikoa guy. The guy's a fucking loser, and he's not ready. Makes you think what Cody Rhodes said to Solo Sikoa before WrestleMania 39 on Raw 2 years ago. So Cody Rhodes said to Solo Sikoa, you think you're ready, you're not ready. Makes you think Cody Rhodes was right. You know? Cody wasn't lying when he said that. Solo Sikoa, he's a loser. He's a comedy goof. He's a loser. Like, he's not. I just don't find him interesting. He's just boring.
He's like a mid-card guy, honestly.
Yeah, he's not a main event. He's not a big deal main event guy. He never will be. The guy's just not it. I'm sorry. No one takes him seriously, and and Tom Hikuleo, I mean, he's fine. Jeff Cobb is talented, but he's with Solo Sikoa. I think he's better off on his own. He got the Tongans, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga. The bloodline will be complete when Tama Tonga gets back, but I would have the Tongans, honestly, or Girls of Destiny,
honestly,
on the tag division.
And Hikuleo, but pretty much as a trio.
And I think Hikuleo was the brother of Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, if not mistaken, too. Yeah.
Yeah, you have all three guys as a trio.
Why not have Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa? Why not have just the three of them on their own at some point in the tag division? That would add another tag team to the show, and they can wrestle.
Yeah.
They were great as Girls of Destiny, New Japan, and in the ring, they can go. They can wrestle. That's not a bad tag team. They can go in that ring. When they get in that ring, they can go. But when you have these guys paired with Solo Sikoa, no wonder the bloodline is dead. Because Solo Sikoa is a fucking loser. No one takes him seriously. The guy's a loser. I'm sorry. The guy all he does is lose.
Yeah. When you have a faction, when you align with a faction, you have a leader. The most important part of a faction is, the leader has to be taken seriously.
And Solo's not a leader either. That's the other thing. He's not a leader at all. He's not.
The leader has to look like a threat.
Yeah. And Solo's definitely not a threat.
Like what does he do? All he does is lose, and he was outshined by Jacob Fatu.
And Fatu wasn't even the leader of that group before he left the bloodline. That's the thing.
Yeah, Jacob Fatu wasn't even the leader of the bloodline, and yet he was their biggest star.
And it didn't take long
for that to happen.
And that didn't take long either.
And he felt more like the leader than Solo.
Yeah, more charisma, more aura, presence, everything. Everything. Solo wasn't even on the WrestleMania card this year, and Jacob Fatu was. What does that tell you?
All Solo did was accompanying him to the ring?
Yeah.
That's all he did at WrestleMania.
Yeah. The bloodline's dead. The bloodline's fucking dead. I mean,
honestly, they feel like a mid-card group, honestly. That's what they feel like to me.
Yeah, and get them off this show, please. It feels like rinse and repeat with them on this fucking show. And we're going to get Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu at SummerSlam in a rematch for the U.S. title. Fatu's winning that title back. What else do you do, bloodline?
And honestly, when Tama Tonga comes back, maybe we get Guerrillas of Destiny against the Usos.
I don't want to. Who wants to see that? Who wants to fucking see that?
We'll get it. We'll get.
No. Fuck that. Why the fuck would anyone want to see that shit?
We're gonna see it. You watch.
We've got this for how many fucking times? How long now? We got this last War Games with the Usos and with the Bloodline. We've seen this already last year. Who the fuck wants to see this again? Who?
And also we're gonna get Lance and Hawaii.
Oh God!
And Zilla Fatu.
Please no. Oh my God!
The storyline is gonna go on forever.
Lord have mercy. For the love of God, I just don't care. I just don't care. I'm sorry. I just don't give a shit.
You're gonna get it. This storyline is gonna continue, and you're gonna love
another bloodline with Uso versus the Usos and Romans. I can't bring myself to care. The group is
you're gonna get Zilla Fatu. You're gonna get Lance and Hawaii joining the bloodline, and the story gonna go on for another 10 years, and you're gonna love it.
Oh God. Oh God. And even Zilla Fatu doesn't need the fucking bloodline. He's better on his own. You know?
Yeah.
But honestly, like we talk about a hopeful draft this fall, man, and some people need a change of scenery. Please get the bloodline off SmackDown and move them to Monday Night Raw. It feels like the same old shit with the bloodline every fucking time on SmackDown, with them on SmackDown. It's just the same. I feel same old shit, rinse and repeat with that. Get them on fucking Raw. Get them off SmackDown.
Jacob needs to be by him and just needs to be away from them. Just get them away from Jacob.
Keep Jacob Fatu on SmackDown, and with a draft this fall, keep Jacob Fatu on SmackDown and move the bloodline to Monday Night Raw. It's Solo, the Tongans, Tonga, and JC Mateo. Move them all to Monday Night Raw and keep Jacob Fatu on SmackDown away from these fucking guys, away from the bloodline. Seriously.
But you got a problem, though. Are they going to put the bloodline and Seth's faction on the same show?
Or you move the bloodline for Seth's faction, move the bloodline to Raw, and move Seth's faction to SmackDown.
No, Seth has that Money in the Bank briefcase, and I think he's gonna cash in.
Or why not just move, or with a draft this fall, which if it happens, why not move the bloodline to Raw and Seth's faction to SmackDown? I'd much rather that.
Yeah, you can do that.
It would make SmackDown fresh. You know, that's what they need. Right now, it just feels same old shit like this. It feels like they have the same roster for a couple years now, and it really needs a change bad. Yeah, the whole roster on SmackDown needs a complete fucking overhaul, big time.
Also, this is why the move to 3 hours felt so illogical. It felt so confusing. Like you have a 2-hour roster, and you want them to work a 3-hour show.
Yeah, and they have to use Raw wrestlers to fill that third hour. Now they're back at 2 hours, and their roster feels very mid. They're like I feel like there's more heavy hitters on Raw. I understand on Netflix, but you gotta but SmackDown doesn't have much star power right now. That's a problem.
Also, after the Cena angle, I think they're gonna need something completely different.
They need to start building up people. That's why they're starting to build up Aleister Black, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe you can move Seth's faction over to SmackDown. Maybe have Seth Rollins, cash in on Cody at SummerSlam once he wins from Cena, once he beats Cena for the championship. You have Rollins cash in afterwards, and he wins the WWE Championship, and then you have Seth's faction versus Cody on SmackDown as the top storyline.
There you go. And you could and Seth is on SmackDown as WWE champion. You could still have Sami Zayn win the Rumble in Saudi next January at the Rumble. Have Sami and Seth for the WWE title at WrestleMania next year, where Sami wins the title. Maybe for the WWE title or world title. You could still do that though. If you move Seth's faction to SmackDown, he cashes in on Cody for the WWE title at least SummerSlam. You could still do that, all that. I think it's still with Raw, but if it's SmackDown, I wouldn't mind it either because God knows this show needs all the help and change they could get. Seriously.
Absolutely.
You know? I felt bored though with most of this show. There was some good, but not much happen on this show. And the fact that and also the fact the show was taped. Like the first like SmackDown being live at 2 hours again, it's not gonna happen until next week. They're supposed to be in Tennessee? I heard Jelly Roll's gonna be there. Just don't have Jelly Roll in the fucking ring wrestling, please. Please no.
They're not gonna have him wrestle on SmackDown, trust me.
Or have him in a story or have him wrestle at SummerSlam, please fucking no. I don't want no one fucking wants that, please. I hope to God not. If he's gonna if he hosts SummerSlam, fine. But in a match, I don't want to see.
Just have him in a segment. Maybe he may just have him in a segment with The Miz and have him kick Miz's ass.
something like
Something
that.
like
But yeah, but as long as he's not in the match, fine. If he's a host, fine. If he's a host for SummerSlam, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But in the ring, he does not belong in a wrestling match. He doesn't. No one wants to see that. But some good of SmackDown last night, but not much happened. Like the Andrade, Ray Phoenix, and Fraxium match, the Drew McIntyre opening segment, and stuff. Just not much happened on this show, man. Not much happened on last night's show.
I mean, hopefully they pick. I mean, now that they know they're going live next week, maybe they pick things back up.
And then next weekend they got the Great American Bash. They got Saturday Night's Main Event, and then All in Texas for AEW. Then they got Evolution. Then after that, we got 3 weeks going into SummerSlam. Right now, everything feels crammed, and there's just too much right now. Nothing can breathe, and the product in creative suffers for it, and it does affect the product, and it does affect creative because nothing can breathe right now. But once I feel hopefully once we get closer to SummerSlam and then coming out of SummerSlam, things should hopefully start to breathe again.
That's when things can pick up.
Yeah. I feel like when we get closer to SummerSlam, especially coming out of SummerSlam, now things can breathe again.
Yeah.
Because right now,
focused.
Because right now there's no time to breathe at all. And everything's thrown together. There's no long-term booking right now. And creative and affects the creative in the product. You know? And then people will call out Triple H on it, and rightfully so, because he's the head of creative. So that's what happens when you have too many shows. Everything just feels fucking rushed and thrown together, pieced together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, maybe after SummerSlam, they pick things back up, and they're very they have a direction, and they're very focused.
Yeah. I think once we get closer to SummerSlam in New Jersey, then coming out of SummerSlam, then that's when things I feel will start picking up and getting back on a vertical base again. That's what I feel. I mean, it's not bad, but something is missing. But once we get closer to SummerSlam, like with Seth Rollins cashes in the briefcase and Naomi cashes in, they both cash in successfully and all the other stuff, things should start picking up, I will say.
That's how I feel.
What?
Yeah, I think the same way.
Yeah. But that's your SmackDown post-show review from last night's SmackDown on 4th of July. Please hit that like on the video. Be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe to Furious Nation as well as Hardcore Sports Network, and hit that bell for all notifications. And follow me on X, FioreNick579. Go follow Adam Carl on X as well, on Instagram, and all the other good stuff. Me on Instagram as well, TikTok, Facebook. Links in the description. I do have the Raw post show, the Raw Chaos post show, the Raw Chaos post show for Raw this Monday night after Raw with me and Pyro. I'm back with Pyro for Raw post show Chaos coverage for Raw post show this Monday after Raw. There'll be the Raw Go Home show for Evolution, Saturday night's main event, and all. So I'll be back there with Pyro with that this Monday after Raw. I will be with Mitch for the first 2 hours of live SmackDown for the first time since late at the end of last year. Next week's SmackDown live 2 hours will be live. Mitch and I will be in there for this Friday night with SmackDown on July 11th. So that is to come soon next week as well. NXT Great American Bash, I will most likely stream. The card doesn't look that good, but I'm still going to stream. It looks like Adam Carl and I will be on there as well. It looks like you're good for that Saturday, right, bro?
Yeah. I'll be good there. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yep. Adam Carl and I will be there for the Great American Bash for NXT Great American Bash. Saturday night's main event, Mitch will be on there for Saturday night's main event watch party. I will probably hop on with him for that as well. I know it's a lot, but I'll do my best. It looks like I probably will hop on for that. We'll see. Yeah. Depends on when the Great American Bash gets over with and such. But There's that. Evolution, I might hop on for a watch party for that, probably. And then also Forbidden Podcast. The next episode of Forbidden Podcast, Adam, Carl, and I, episode 5 of the Forbidden Podcast. I will be on at 1 p.m. live 1 p.m. on Saturday, July 26th of this year. We will talk SummerSlam stuff on that episode, so look out for that. And also, it looks like Adam, Carl will be, and also we got this, yeah. And then we got the SmackDown watch party for July 18th. Not sure if I'm going to be on the live stream for that or whatnot. There is a wrestling show in my area, indie show in my area that same night. I might go to that. I'm not sure. I'm 50-50 on that right now. But if I do go to that event that same night of SmackDown, like here will be a post show. Me and Adam, Carl, and I probably sometime the next day or whatnot. I'll figure something out. So, but if I don't go to that wrestling show that night, July 18th, then I'll be with Mitch on the live watch party for SmackDown July 18th episode. So I will keep you guys posted on all of that. And those are things to look forward to in the future here. So we appreciate you very much for joining us. And we love every one of you. Adam, Carl, anything else to say before we get the hell out of here?
It's a privilege. It was fun doing this. Can't wait to do more work.
Absolutely.
Do more stuff here.
And always a pleasure to have you on here, bro. Good chemistry we got. And this will definitely not be the last time you on here. And
the last time we'll do it this month, especially.
Yeah. SummerSlam coming up. I'll be there for both nights next month. So got some nice things coming up for you. We're going to be cooking some stuff this month in July. So look out for that. You're not going to want to miss any of it. So we appreciate you all once again very much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. And we will see you next time here on YouTube for Adam, Carl will be back here soon. You will see me for sure with Pyro Productions for the Raw post-show review, Raw Chaos coverage, following this Monday Night Raw. So enjoy the rest of your night, guys, and we will see you guys really soon. And yes, we all love you guys. Yeah. We all love you guys very much. Peace.